Welcome back to Resurrection Hot Rod. Daniel here. I cheated. I'm going to wrap myself out. I was going to use a 4-to-1 primer and wait until probably Monday. Today's a Saturday, 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everybody. We have this stuff. It's not necessarily for this large of an area, but it's such a nice day out. And there's lots of UV waves coming down. This is a UV primer we use for collision for generally small spots. Usually you'd use something about that size. This is kind of pushing it. And then you have a UV light that you put on. You put a thinner coat on, and then you put the UV light on it for about 3 minutes, and then you put another coat over the top. It's about 14 mils thick. And then you do it for 5 minutes to cure it all, to make sure that it's cured all the way through. Because if you don't do it right, it just falls off later. But with such a nice day, all this UV light, I took advantage of it, and I kind of just overdid it a little bit. But now, 5 minutes later, after the last coat, I am ready to 320 this thing, and I'm going to cheat again, and I'm just going to use a DA. But here's some wipe on powdery guide coat. Let me see what brand this is here. You can get it on Amazon. It comes with this lid thing that's also for doing this. And we're gonna get that all up in there. And what this guide coat does, if you guys don't know, is it fills in any low spots. So when you're sanding, it'll stay dark, and you'll know that you have a pinhole or whatever, or just a low spot in the metal, whatever it may be. But look at that, we're ready to rock. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna hand block this out. This is just for me. So it comes together like this, and it's got a plastic thing that holds it anyways. And then the Milwaukee sponsor, I don't know if that's on. It's on. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna cheat, and we're gonna DA that down. Well, you see what I mean? It leaves anything low. So if you're sanding and you have a pinhole, it'll still be black. These are sand scratches from the last sandpaper. I would have missed that without guide coat more than likely, especially being as bright as it is out here. And when you go to paint, you would have seen sand scratches in your paint, and that's the purpose of this guide coat. To find low spots, sand scratches, pinholes, chips. I'm using 320 because after this, I'm just going to DA sand it down, and we're going to go right into DP, and we're gonna paint it, and that's what's gonna happen. So we can sit here and play with this all day long. I'm gonna go ahead and pause and come back because you guys aren't gonna sit here and listen to this noise of the Milwaukee. I'll be right back. For you, it'd be like a split second. Well, we have too many pinholes, and yes, I know you can guide coat your mud so that you don't run into this situation, but like I said, I'm working on that thing and running out here and trying this stuff. So I don't make any money on this. This is purely so I have something to drive. Wintertime's coming. It's nice weather. I'm just kind of showing you guys how to do this kind of stuff when you got nice weather and then you're in a hurry. And so we're going to do everything in that order. So what I did was I took a razor blade and I filled in a few pinholes. And this is what I was talking about. This is the One Choice UV primer. And I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of show you light coat. We're just going to do it one more again. I'm going to get this edge. That's why I have that tape there, because if you don't spray past that edge, you actually don't get no overspray on all the stuff that's already sanded. Pretty slick, huh? This is the stuff that's already been pretty much sanded. So here in a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this some more. I feel like this needs a little extra love right here. We'll give it a little extra love. Literally just a few minutes, and you're ready to throw another coat on. And this stuff's only triggered by UV, so it doesn't dry. We just leave it. That's why it has this blackout cup, so UV light can't get to it. So you just clean your tip and flip it upside down, then clean your tip. And then you can just store it on the wall with the rest of the paint guns. As long as light's not getting in there, it won't dry. So we're gonna give it a few minutes and we'll go over this. And this is kind of how we're doing this bad boy. This is so much more fun than, okay. So like that's gonna be 60,000 plus paint job with the metal. I get it. This is the way that you want to be doing stuff. And no, we do not do it on that sort of thing. We do all the precautionary steps on that, but this will last. It is a way that you guys can do it from your house by going into Napa and getting whatever you need to get and coming out and doing your own rig, to where you don't have to pay guys like me to do that. Like, yes, that's going to come out way, way, way nicer than this could ever dream of. A proper way, like I said before, is to get this whole thing acid dipped, DA it down. That thing's been acid dipped. DA it down. Put this black epoxy primer on there. It's a sealer. And then somebody did some really poor metal work, so I'm going back through and fixing a lot of things that they messed up on. And so you can sand through it, and then when I'm done, we'll just be able to blow a little bit back on there, and then a year from now, or whatever it takes that he wants to do the body work on this thing, we can DA it down with, we're gonna probably use 180 or maybe even 220, and then we can start spreading mud right over that. That's the proper way to do this. But this will work, it does last, and it's something that you guys can all do from home. So you just do one of these jobbers. I'm just 320 DA-ing my truck down because I don't got time and I can't be holding the shop up, and I only got so many nice days that we can do this, and I do want to get this thing together and driving within a month. So like I said, I got lots of parts and things coming. I'm gonna go ahead and pause again, and then we'll put another coat on. Oh, we can do that real quick. It's been long enough. Look at that. See, that's how fast it is. And normally I would have to wait until tomorrow to sand this. Typically the proper way to do it, like on that Nova in there, is to prime everything and come back in about 3 months and then start sanding. Let it cure up, get nice and chalky, and that way you don't have any shrinkage later on. There is a special primer that doesn't have any shrinkage from Linear Blocks that I'll show you one of these days, but for the time being we'll just do one of those. Okay, now I'll be back in a few minutes. For you, a split second. Remember how I was telling you guys that you gotta be careful, and this is why you should prime when you got an old pinstripe or something. You can still see it. I just started hitting that. Had I not primed that, you would have seen that in the new paint. So now that that's primed, I can sand that down and it will flatten out. But that was bare metal. Isn't that crazy? The more you know. Okay. We're there. Just about. Smooth as the baby's bottom. I just have the factory warbles in it, which is plenty okay by me. About 3 hours worth of work, well, minus the stripping the doors and the windows and all that stuff out of there. Not too shabby. Okay guys, God is good.